When the state experiments, the troubling history of AIDS drug trials on foster children. Between the late 1980s and early 2000s, hundreds of foster children, many HIV-positive, became unwitting participants in government-funded clinical drug trials across the United States. Often enrolled without proper legal consent or sufficient oversight, these vulnerable children were given experimental AIDS medications as part of research efforts to combat the growing HIV/AIDS crisis. At the heart of this controversy is a chilling question: how far should the government go in the name of public health, and at what cost to those who cannot consent? According to multiple investigations, including a 2009 report by the Vera Institute of Justice, New York City was one of the primary locations where these trials were conducted. Over 465 foster children participated in studies testing new or experimental AIDS medications. Many of these children lacked independent advocates and ethical requirement under federal guidelines meant to safeguard the rights of wards of the state. In some cases, there were no clear records of informed consent. While the trials aimed to find life-saving treatments for HIV-positive children, the process itself exposed systemic failures. Though the Vera report found no direct evidence that the trials caused deaths, it did confirm widespread ethical lapses. Consent forms were missing, protocols were inconsistently followed, and children, many of them Black or Latino, were placed at risk without the full legal protections they were owed. Critics argue that these children were treated like human test subjects, disposable, voiceless, and overlooked. Others claim the intent was to save lives in a desperate time, and that without these trials, life-saving pediatric treatments may not have emerged as quickly. Still, the incident exposes a deeper issue. When the state takes custody of children, it inherits a moral obligation to protect them not just physically, but ethically. This obligation was not met. The legacy of these trials is not just about medical ethics, it's about power, race, consent, and how quickly vulnerable populations can be exploited when oversight fails. Foster children, already failed by their families, were failed again by the very institutions meant to shield them from harm. This story should serve as a reminder that progress must never come at the expense of the voiceless, and that informed consent and ethical standards must be upheld for all, not just the privileged.